This is 7 News.
Tonight, a citywide manhunt for a serial armed robber.
Attempted murder. A gunman opened fire at a young Perth mother.
Aussie tourists in Bali tricked into buying illegal drugs.
And a teen girl unconscious, 40 treated by medical staff, as fans go wild for boy band One Direction.
From the studios of 7 Perth, Susannah Carr and Ardon.
Good evening. We start with breaking news. A tsunami warning has been issued for Southeast Asia after a large earthquake off Indonesia's west coast. The magnitude 8.5 quake struck underground almost 500 kilometres off Banda Aceh in northern Sumatra, where thousands were killed in the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami. Locals today ran from their homes, but so far there's no confirmation of a tsunami, although the quake was felt as far away as India. A tidal wave warning has been issued for Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand. No warning has been issued here. The Bureau of Meteorology says the Australian mainland should be safe.
There's a citywide manhunt for a gunman who's robbed 4 Perth businesses in the past 2 days. He pointed a handgun at workers' heads and ordered them to hand over cash. Grant Taylor reports.
Harbourne Street, Wembley this afternoon, police recovered the gunman's car, but not him. This is the man they're looking for tonight, filmed early yesterday at Caltex Scarborough. He pointed a handgun straight at a staff member's face. Late yesterday, he hit again at BP in Morley. Then today, 10 a.m. at Caltex Nedlands, the gun once again pointed at a staff member's head. And 20 minutes later, just down the road, another hold-up. This time, the Captain Sterling Hotel's bottle shop. Workmen saw him running to his car after the hold-up.
The car was started, so he obviously had a clue what he was doing.
They left it running?
Yeah, he had it running, so yeah, ran in there, didn't need to start it, jumped in the car, it's out of there.
The crime spree didn't end there. Almost 2 hours after the robbery at the Captain Sterling, a student at UWA had a gun pointed at him. The gunman demanded his car keys but ran off when the student said no. The area was quickly flooded with police cars, but again, no sign of the gunman. Then at 3 p.m, his car was spotted on Harbourne Street. It's understood members of the Tactical Response Group did the takeout, but the driver wasn't the man they wanted. Grant Taylor, 7 News.
And as we go to air, the gunman is still on the run. Jeff Parry is at police headquarters. And Jeff, who are police looking for?
Well, Rick, the police know who they're looking for. They'd hope to have taken him into custody by now, if they haven't already. We don't have a name, but we do have a description. The wanted gunman is described as fair-skinned, aged 25 to 30. He's 173 to 175 centimetres tall and of stocky build. Now, what we do know is that he's armed. So police say if you know who it is, don't approach him. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers. Sue?
Thanks, Jeff. A young mother who was shot at outside her Port Kennedy home says she might be the victim of mistaken identity. The 17-year-old ducked behind a brick pillar as the gunman pulled the trigger.
A late-night cigarette outside Lee's front door almost ended in her death.
I was sitting here like this. I saw them run up. I've ducked behind the pillar like this. As they've shot, I've ducked down.
The 17-year-old mother is too scared to be identified. 19-month-old Jake was inside the house when 2 men in balaclavas ran up Nautilus Close just after 3 a.m. last Thursday. Lee's face was grazed by a shotgun pellet.
Just here under my eye.
The brick pillar Lee hid behind and windows on the front of the house bore the brunt. This is where Lee says the gunman stopped after running to the end of the cul-de-sac. He pointed the gun at Lee, dropped it to take a closer look at her, raised it again, then pulled the trigger.
As soon as they've shot, I've grabbed that and run inside like that.
In the space of how long?
Less than 5 seconds.
The gunman then fired a second time.
At this stage, the investigation is being treated as attempted murder, yes.
Lee and her father Andrew spoke publicly today to plead with the gunman and the other man with him to come forward.
Looked at a lot of different scenarios and can't figure out why it's happened, especially when they've noticed it's her at the front too.
Blake Johnson, 7 News.
Vandals have used powerful explosives to blow up letterboxes in 3 Perth suburbs. A Hammersley couple said they heard a loud explosion while watching TV at 8:45 last night. Their solid concrete mailbox was shattered. Pieces were blasted onto the roof and the other side of the road. 5 minutes later, another mailbox was blown up in Greenwood. Within half an hour, a Natalia address was also targeted. Police are still hunting whoever's responsible.
A single Perth mother's 4-year battle with Holmes West finally ended today after she went public pleading her case. Janina Thorpe had pleaded to get out of her rundown Carlisle home where her son committed suicide. Sally Bowrey reports.
This is where Janina Thorne and her 4 kids have lived for almost a decade.
Can you just describe the smell?
Oh, sewage.
How long's it been like this?
It's been like this since I've moved in.
In 2010, Janina's son Willis killed himself here.
Only 15 then.
The trauma of living here, she says, unbearable.
I just want out of here and I can't live here, not while my son done it in the backyard. I can't even walk out in the backyard anymore.
On the priority list for 2 years, Janina claims Holmes West repeatedly told her there was nowhere else to shift. She sent the department this doctor's certificate, which says the house makes her family sick: asthma, colds, allergies, infections.
I just can't take it no more.
Mental Health Minister Helen Morton wrote to Janina last January saying she was working with the Housing Department. 14 months on, no result. Until today, when Janina went to the media.
Janina says she's battled for 4 years with Holmes West to get her out of this house. Well, we've just come back this afternoon and she's received some good news.
Yep, thank you, bye.
A new Holmes West house available today.
I feel happy, but it had to take this to get somewhere.
Sally Bowrey, 7 News.
A young boy has faced court for plotting to kill his stepmother using peanuts. The 14-year-old, who can't be identified, admitted putting some in her toothpaste after finding out a severe allergic reaction could kill her. Today, a Brisbane judge put the boy on a 12-month good behaviour bond and recommended more psychiatric treatment. The stepmother discovered the peanuts before she was harmed.
Police have revealed members of a gang behind a violent crime spree across Perth are all children, the oldest just 15. The 4 boys and 1 girl are accused of stealing 3 luxury cars after breaking into their victims' homes. Alexis Donkin reports.
A teenage girl was left temporarily unconscious and 40 others had to be rescued from the crush to witness pop sensation's One Direction in Sydney today. 5,000 fans surrounded 7 studios this morning when the boy band sparked hysteria during their performance on Sunrise.
And ahead on 7 News, more trouble for Perth's trains.
Plus, Hoon delivery. The postman in trouble for doing this.
And the new mother who's just 10 years old.
Hello, Natalia Cooper with you. It was another hot April day, but it is cooling off a little over the next few days and getting a bit cloudy as well. Currently in the city it's 24.8, relative humidity 39%. The barometer 1,019.7, it's steady and winds are from the west-southwest at 7 kilometres an hour. We had a top of a touch under 32, that was around 10 past 2 this afternoon, and the temperature dipped to 16.5 overnight. Around the metro area today, Bullsbrook was the warmest spot with 35. Cooler near the coast, 28 degrees in Mandurah. Around WA today, it was fine and hot across much of the southern half. 33 the top in Albany, 37 in Geraldton, but it was a rather cool night in eastern parts of the southwest land division. Tomorrow it'll be cooler in the southwest, a shower or 2 and 23 in Albany. Cloudy periods in Bunbury and 27, and it's looking pretty good in the north of the state, sunny and 33 degrees for Port Hedland. Over to the satellite picture now, and a high in the bight is what brought the fine weather today, but a cold front is approaching the southwest corner of the state. It'll bring some drizzle to the west and south coast this evening. Onshore winds will bring those couple of showers to the south coast tomorrow. Across the country tomorrow, sunny in Melbourne and Canberra and a shower or 2 for Sydney and Brisbane. Boating information, south to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, shifting south-southwest 13 to 18 in the afternoon, and south-southeast 15 to 20 in the evening. Seas to 1.5 metres and swell to 2 metres. So down to 16 degrees tonight. Cloudy periods tomorrow with a top of 29. Some morning cloud and 27 on Friday, 26 on Saturday and 28 degrees on Sunday. So some lovely school holiday weather, but it looks like there'll be a couple of showers about mid next week. Here are Rick and Sue.
Thanks, Natalia. That's all from the 7 News team. We'll have updates a bit later.
Thanks for joining us. Now, here's Monica with Today Tonight.